Hello out there. Welcome to the No Shit Cast. I'm your host, Matt Frazier. Another Thursday night show lined up. Another bag of goodies to go through, if you will. Happy fall. Happy October. It's that time of year. Things start going bump in the night. So, sitting on the co-pilot seat as usual, none other than the great wizard of historical knowledge himself, my buddy, my brother from another mother, Mr. Eric D. Smith. How you doing tonight, Eric?
Pretty groovy, man. How are you doing?
I'm living the dream. You know, I got a question.
Yes,
I was thinking about this. Just open-ended, and we'll punch Mr. Devlin, our Bond villain, back there in on this one too. So, if you could have any superpower, you can only have one, right? What would it be? And why? Yeah.
You asking first?
I'll ask you first.
Phasing.
You would want phasing.
Yeah.
You were very quick to
I've thought
know
about this.
Okay, do tell.
Well, it's one of those powers where you could become invisible, right? You can phase out to the point where you can't see your molecules. Okay. And so it's kind of like invisibility. You can also use it to like walk on other things like water or air.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a flight ability. You could use it to pass through objects, like you can pass through thick things of steel and earth and barriers. You know, you can phase through walls and stuff. So there's nothing that can really keep you out. There's no real barrier that can keep you out unless it's like some sort of energy or magnetic barrier or something special, right? Okay. And it kind of makes you invulnerable, which is like another super ability, right? You can phase out so that bullets can pass through you and edged weapons and things like that. You can also potentially disrupt electronic systems by passing a partially phased form through those electronics and stuff. So it's a pretty useful thing, man.
What say you, Mr. Devlin?
I'd go with teleportation.
You would?
Yeah.
Like, it's a good one.
Like Nightcrawler from X-Men?
Okay.
Yeah, I'd do that.
Now, so both of you again, okay, so you're phasing, right?
Yeah.
Would you be able to phase through something, grab a hold of something, and then phase it back with you through? Or could it only be you, your physical self, that could only phase?
Well, if we were playing Marvel superheroes, that would be a power stunt. So it would be something that you'd have to try and work on, and eventually you'd be able to grab something and then
take it with you.
Take it with you, yeah, through something.
Now, Devlin, teleportation.
Yep.
Okay. Do you have to be able to see or have seen where you're going, or do you just have to kind of know in general where it is? Because that was the thing with Nightcrawler, right? He has to be able to see where he's going, or has to have been there. He can't blind jump into someplace he's never been. It was really dangerous for him, remember? So he's got to kind of at least seen it once to be able to get there again. Would you have that kind of stipulation, or would you just be like, I can just close my eyes and if I can picture a place on the planet, I can go there?
Be a mix of both. I'd have to either experience it to get farther distance.
Right.
But if it's like the next room over, I'd have to like focus on a few feet in front of me.
That's weird because there was a couple of movies about that. I think one was called Jumper and the other one was called maybe Push.
Okay.
I can't remember for sure. But
Anakin Skywalker starred in one of them, right? Where he could like teleport. What's his Christian Haydenson or something? Is the actor's name? Yeah.
Yeah. But in that one, he was able to look at a picture of the pyramids and teleport there.
Right. That would be pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
it's kind of like far-seeing / teleportation.
I got to be honest, after listening to those two, I had mine was like flight. But isn't it funny how all of ours, though, it sort of revolves around being able to go someplace else?
Yeah, or not having barriers.
Or not having barriers or restrictions in some way. Yeah, it's kind of bizarre, right?
Yeah.
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 All right, you want to get to some articles?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I got a good bunch of stuff here, I hope. They looked good from the headlines, so we'll check it out and see what we come up with. So the first one is there's a cult in Thailand. This comes from Futurism. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we know, again, I'm still using these, but at least they're fodder. In case they suck, we can pan the shit out of them, right? So a cult in Thailand claims it has a portal to talk to aliens.
That's kind of cool, man.
Okay. If aliens come to Earth, it won't be to destroy humans. It will be to save us from the apocalypse.
That's pretty cool, too.
That would be handy. I'm just saying. At least that's one of the core beliefs shared by members of UFO Kawakala, a Thailand-based a Thailand-based group highlighted in a fascinating new Vice story. Boy, we're not getting much better. Another eyebrow-raising belief espoused by the group, which has amassed thousands of online followers, that they can talk to aliens through a portal on the Kawakala mountain.
That's pretty cool, too, man. We could be a follower, I bet.
Well, what are they classifying as aliens? And, what are they? I guess we'll find out. The group's founder, Ajarn Wasana, some name that begins with Chun, told Vice she's been chatting with aliens for more than 2 decades, and she claims to have learned quite a bit about ETs through her conversations. For one, aliens typically hail from either Pluto or a planet Wasana calls Lokatapaka Dekong. That's pretty good in tongues. They eat energy capsules due to their small mouths,
like
according
Pac-Man?
I guess to Wasana. And while the ETs from that place that begins with L look like the standard gray figures you might see in a sci-fi movie, the ones from Pluto are more like a gas.
More like what?
A gas.
Like
they're gaseous.
Gaseous. Okay. I thought you said gassed at first, like the undead.
Gassed.
Oh my God, that's bad. Yeah.
Wasana told Vice she learned about the Kawakala portal from her alien communications. The Kawakala members now regularly visit the mountain to meditate and look for UFOs, drawing the ire of government officials who raided the site in August. Why are we?
I don't.
Should we give a shit?
I don't. You guys get down from there.
Still, Kawakala member Ann Thong Charon doesn't seem too concerned about the raid hindering her ability to communicate with aliens. Quote, "We can stay in our homes and receive contact," she told Vice. "You never know where you'll be at the time of World War III."
So wait, why does
the government... apocalyptic type thing too, huh?
Why does the government care?
That's what I was wondering.
Is it like get off my yard or lawn or something?
Maybe it's like a restricted area and they just keep showing up type of thing. The aliens showing up in the form of gases too is like, wasn't there in the ancients, wasn't there somebody that they would go to,
the Oracle of Delphi,
right? And they go into a chamber that had noxious gases and they would have visions and stuff, right?
Yep.
Doesn't this sound like kind of where was this Thailand version of sort of the same motif to you?
I mean, they're not prophesizing. They're communicating. I mean, I don't know what the difference is. I guess they're just talking. In the Oracle of Delphi, people would come from all around and get readings from the oracles. They were quite famous in the Fertile Crescent area.
Yeah.
But I don't know about this, man. I don't know. There's not probably a lot of people coming. Just these guys are coming to this. There's not like other people, ambassadors or whatever, coming.
Right. Well, and they're not. And there's good cults and there's bad cults. The good cults don't murder people, and they don't all commit mass suicide. This is a good cult, right? So to me, that's a good cult. You know, and they don't seem to be dangerous or anyway.
Well, as long as it's not like Heaven's Gate cult,
right, where they all off themselves, right? Or the Magic Kool-Aid Jones cult kind of thing, or or that would be Magic Kool-Aid. That was not. No, that was a different kind of Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that was like necromancy magic. Bad magic.
All right, Mr. Devlin, what we got lined up next, sir? We have our own Bond villain. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound like a Bond villain name, Mr. Devlin?
Mr. Devlin, the engineer.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
He's the engineer.
He is.
Right, yeah. It's pretty wild. This comes from IFL Science. Japanese scientists create artificial blood that could potentially be given to all blood types.
Well, now that's interesting.
Yeah, I know we got some specific listeners that are going to be really into this.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about,
blood.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Scientists in Japan have developed artificial blood that could, in theory, be transfused into patients regardless of their blood type. Yep, it's pretty much the same premise as the TV show True Blood, just without the vampires.
Yeah, I've never seen
prefer that. You've never seen True Blood?
No.
It's vampire porn.
Is it?
Yeah. Pretty much. Do
Yes.
tell, Mr. Devlin.
No, it's just I'm thinking of other vampire shows that I've heard about.
There probably is vampire porn somewhere.
It's basically vampire porn is what it is. It's still extremely early days for the research so far. It's only been tested out on 10 rabbits with mixed success.
Oh, well.
However, if it moves into human trials, this could be a very exciting breakthrough. Well, wait a minute. Time
Big
out.
words giveth, little words taketh away.
When 10 rabbits with mixed success does not lead to human trials.
Well, if it moves into human trials, it says
That's a giant if at this point, right?
If any 10 rabbits live a few times, they might.
Maybe, sorta. Currently, if you need to receive a blood transfusion, it must be matched with your blood type or the universal donor type O negative. A one-size-fits-all blood substitute would overcome all sorts of existing obstacles, ranging from not enough donations by ethnic minorities to finding matches for rare blood types. According to the World Health Organization, 117.4 billion units of donated blood are collected globally each year, and that's still not enough. Reported in the journal Transfusion. There's a journal called Transfusion.
They say there's a magazine/journal for everything. Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
Do people just start these, or is there like some form of accreditation? Oh, anyways.
Well, if you rule out fanzines, then it seems less likely. But if you include fanzines, which are kind of like magazines or newsletters, maybe, I'd say there's probably one for everything. Researchers
in Japan set out to develop an artificial blood surrogate that can mimic and fulfill the functions of biological blood, primarily the storage and transport of oxygen if a body is suffering from severe blood loss during surgery or after trauma. Typically, hemoglobin is the protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen to the body tissues and returns carbon dioxide back to the lungs. As a substitute for this vital protein, the team developed hemoglobin vesicles, with a diameter of just 250 nanometers that can serve as an oxygen carrier, along with liposome-based hemostatic nanoparticles. That's a lot. This was mixed with plasma, the yellowish liquid basis of blood. The researchers transfused the blood surrogate into 10 rabbits that had been subjected to lethal hemorrhaging.
Ah, damn.
Who's got that job? From a liver injury. Remarkably, 6 of them survived, which the study says is about the same success rate as a biological blood transfusion, and none of the animals experienced any serious adverse events other than the liver trauma in the study. Poor bunnies.
I know, man.
It's unclear whether this product could potentially lead to any wider health problems, as the researchers did not explore the long-term safety of the blood. So, again, little words taketh away, right?
Yeah.
Equally, the study also warns that their findings may not be generalized to humans, another big issue, right? It's worth knowing that many attempts to create a reliable blood substitute have been launched over the past decades with limited success. So that's kind of cool. I thought that might be fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Turns out we ended up just talking about vampire porn.
Well, still, I mean, I suppose, not being a blood expert, this sounds like a good thing, man. That if they could perfect it, it'd be cool if they could perfect it in a better way.
Yeah, wouldn't it? All right, Mr. Devlin, go ahead and put the next one up. What do we got here?
Transfusion.
Oh, you just clicked on an article inside that link. Don't worry about it. It's
I've
fine.
got to make a new resolution. I'm never going to speed again.
Now, I've heard this before that I've heard a lot of people say this, that a volcano eruption puts out like the same amount of CO2 as all of humanity has ever put out on the planet.
I've heard
in its
those
entirety.
things before.
So when I saw this come up, I thought this would be pretty cool. Now, again, it's from Futurism. But I just thought this would be interesting to kind of look into and see what they have to say about it, right? So, according to a decade-long study by an international team of researchers, human CO2 emissions total 100 times more than the planet-warming effects of all volcanoes combined. So that kind of implies that it's exactly the opposite of what these people say, right? Yeah. It says the total amount emitted by volcanoes is only about 0.3 gigatons a year, a tiny fraction of the 37 gigatons humankind produced in 2018 alone. That means they're not nearly as big a contributor to global emissions as some prevailing theories hold.
Okay. So they're stating it right up front.
Yeah. No little words taken away here so far. Climate skeptics really jump on volcanoes as a possible contender for top CO2 emissions. That's what I was saying, yeah. But it's simply not the case. Marie Edmonds, professor of volcanology and petrology at Queen's College, Cambridge, told Agence France Presse. Well, she needs to educate herself. I mean, obviously, she's a volcanologist and got doctors, but she must not know. In the distant past, there have been freak incidents on a similar scale to today's human CO2 output, and they were catastrophic. One such carbon event was Chicxulub asteroid.
Chicxulub.
How's that pronounced?
Chicxulub. Yeah.
It was an asteroid impact 66 million years ago.
That's the one that killed the dinosaurs.
Which the scientists estimate to have released anywhere between 425 and 1,400 gigatons of CO2.
I do believe Exxon was the first people to discover it.
Exxon, like as in the oil company,
yeah.
ExxonMobil?
Yeah. They were looking for oil, and they found that this big giant crater off the coast of Central America.
Oh, right.
Down where the Mayans used to be, which is where it gets its name, I believe.
Oh, okay. That kind of makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense why it's named that now. Oh, that's right, because if you actually look, it deformed the coastline. Yeah. Now, you can see the edge of it.
That's why it kind of goes to the side like that.
The amount of CO2 pumped into the atmosphere by man-made activity in the last 10 to 12 years is equivalent to the catastrophic change during these events we've seen in Earth's past. Luckily, it didn't happen all at once.
That's also what created the KT boundary, which is there is like some of the proof that this big asteroid hit and knocked all this shit up into the atmosphere, because anywhere you dig, when you get down to a certain spot, you come to this layer of ash, and it's called the KT boundary.
You can find it, huh?
Yeah.
I heard about this, that when the asteroid impacted and it uplifted all this like CO2 and so it, like, how long did that last?
I believe it's somewhere about an inch or two when you look at it on the boundary layer, but I don't know what that translates into in terms of time. I mean, and you also have to decide, like, from that point to when, like, what do you consider to be completely clear? And I don't know, but it was definitely there long enough to create at least like an inch layer all over the world. In the fossil record, or the not the fossil record, but the layers.
That'd be the geology, right?
Yeah.
Okay, geological record.
Yeah,
kind of
geological record. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if that were to happen, it would pretty much kill everything on the planet, and then whatever time that would take, it would take to sort of reboot. It would start all over again, right? Of course, the fish would probably be all right. No, they would all die too, because the oceans would acidify.
They don't really know, man. Some stuff lived and some stuff didn't, and they don't really know why.
Crocodiles and alligators hung on, right?
Yeah.
Turtles.
A lot of mammals did things that they think were able
burrowing animals, mammals,
that sort of thing. Yeah,
I've heard that too.
But there were also a large group of fish and stuff that died in the oceans at the same time, but some didn't. So they're not sure exactly why some lived and some didn't, and that's one of the controversies to the theory of the asteroid theory killing the dinosaurs, is that it seemed to have been a selective sort of thing. But then there's also been counter points where people have said that, it wasn't like it was made to kill everything. Like, life was just rough. Some things lived and some things didn't. It was just a matter of a species being able to cope with these sudden changes. So I don't know. But
you want to talk about genetic lottery?
Yeah. Well, and when we're talking about things like aliens and stuff too, and you're talking about all of the time boundaries, like there's like a limit to how technological a race can be,
Right.
because there has to be certain things in that 14 billion years that would have occurred. Like there had to have been the first generation of stars, then the second, before you could have a species that would rise up, right?
Right, sure. Yeah.
And there's people who have speculated that reptiles could have been the dominant intelligent species on the planet had it not been for this asteroid.
Event that made nature sort of prefer mammals, certain mammals, and only certain reptiles over others.
So this is another one of those bottlenecks, right? Not just discovering that there's energy inside of matter and all the things that civilization would have to go through, but this sort of thing too could completely change how long it would take a species to develop intelligence, right? Because the dinosaurs were on their way and they got set way back and the mammals started from that point. But imagine if either one of those would have been there from the beginning and could have...
Yeah, because the reptiles were the dominant species on the planet at the time.
Well, any species. I'm saying if that kind of a natural disaster doesn't happen, like you could have had computers in the 1920s.
Right, they would have got there. Maybe they got there faster.
Right,
you're not saying that that's necessary to get to mammals, which gets you to these technologies. You're saying that it would have been a reptilian species
that would have done it sooner.
Yeah,
but they got set back, and another species started over from there. If they got set back, a planet could go through its whole history of being able to support carbon-based life before any species had a chance. And we've had 6 extinctions.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Mass extinctions, right?
Yeah, 6 mass extinctions.
That they know of.
Yeah.
Right. I always like to preface that kind of shit with that we know of.
Right. The Permian extinction was the largest out of all of those. So there's been 6 times that life has had to start over on the planet. Even if some things survived those extinction periods, they had to start over. Whatever they would have progress they most likely would have made toward intelligence or progress. And that's actually something that people's been talking about recently. They've been trying to decide what they would have to look for if they were looking for a species that had developed intelligence and maybe even civilization before the last extinction. Like, is it possible that a species could have gained intelligence just like we did? Right. And we just don't know because it happened at a period when life was sustainable for these things and they built their civilization, but time's just erased every aspect of it. And they're wondering, what they'd have to look for, and on other planets too, for that very reason,
I thought I saw something recently where they found a lost continent. And that rolled
underneath, like Eurasia. That's it rolled.
So there could literally be an entire unknown civilization that's just been ground off the planet.
Theoretically, there could have been.
And how many times could that have happened?
Well, we've got about 4 billion years of
record,
or 4 million years, right? 4 million years of record on the Earth. The Earth has been around about 4 million years.
I thought it was like 4.2 billion or something like that.
It might be billion. Hey, engineer, how old's the Earth? And if you say 6,000 years, we'll talk about that too.
After the show,
No, we'll just talk about it now.
How old's the Earth?
I got Google's first answer is 4.543 billion years.
I was closest. I win the car without going over.
It's in orbit.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
So pretty freaking old, right? And how many times, we can see these scarring on the planet from, like you said, like that big honking Chicka asteroid that hit down near South America.
Yeah.
But how many times has these plates, because that's kind of what they do, right? They
tectonic
sort of
plates
have they just, it's like this weird way that it just sort of erases the history, and then you sort of pop up over here, and that's really the only history we have until that scrolls back under.
Well,
and then it's just gone.
One thing we know for sure is that
I could be making this up, man. This is a really amateurish interpretation of that.
No, but it's possible, because I'm not saying anybody that was as intelligent as we are, right? Because we can make them. We're super intelligent, man. We are.
Sell that shit, baby. Sell it.
We are. Look, here's why, right? All things being equal, right? Maybe there was a species that maybe made it to
Oh,
maybe
you're
made
talking
it to
like
ancient
the
times,
big
right?
we, not the you and me we.
I mean, like, I mean, like, humanity is intelligent, super intelligent, right? Because even if there was a species that made it to ancient period of time, right? To that technological level, they could potentially be erased with natural disasters in time and things like that.
Right.
Big rocks falling. But we won't, because we're able to put cars in orbit around our planet that's going to orbit for thousands and hundreds of thousands of years potentially. We could be gone and another species could arrive and they could be doing divination and prophecies based on what they see moving in the sky, but they would eventually find out that it's something put into orbit that we've used technology and science to do for this length of time that's beyond our ability to conceive of or even sometimes live.
Well, that's kind
They'll
of
see our signs.
We can kind of figure out that we can safely assume, I think, is what I'm saying, that we're the most technologically advanced species that's been on this planet, because when we go into space, we don't see their junk.
Exactly.
We only see our junk.
And how clever would that be? Like, if we did see something like that and we could tell it was from some, human mammal anthropomorphic
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Species. Yeah.
Right, to find that and go, oh crap, man.
Yeah, somebody was here before us and they made it pretty far, but they didn't, for whatever reason, make it as far as we have or whatever. Or
whatever it is, right.
Yeah, or as far as they could have, because they're not here. We've lost all record of them. And who knows what disasters could have occurred that, if a species did supersede us that were more technological and they were working on some sort of science project where, like they talk about with the Large Hadron Collider, just everybody's gone, you know?
Right, exactly. What you got, Devlin?
I was going to ask you guys a question, then I decided to Google it, which was, is Elon Musk's Tesla still in orbit?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
I think it's headed for Mars or some shit, isn't it?
It shot past Mars, but it won't, and it like shot right past it.
Okay.
But stopped before the asteroid belt.
It went out there and stopped, or it just has it's not quite at the asteroid belt yet.
Apparently, it won't reach it. Is what I'm reading.
Okay, yeah, it's in some sort of weird, super long orbit. It's boomeranging back around the sun and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
that's the way I understood it. Yeah, he's a baller, man. He's crazy.
Consider Voyager 1 and how far that has went. It's now in interstellar space. It's the first man-made object that's literally in interstellar space.
Yeah. And it's just now, within the last
year or two,
gotten there.
Yeah.
So now there's another one that's chasing it, right? Voyager 2.
Mm-hmm. They're kind of shooting off.
But I mean, it's actually one of them is faster than the other one, isn't it? Because they had better rocket technology.
No, I think one's faster because it used gravitation and Lagrange points to shoot itself out of the. Yeah. I got.
What was that?
I got a graphic if you'd like to see it.
A graphic?
Yeah.
Of how that all works?
Of where they're at.
Are you gonna have Devlin pull it up?
No, I got it on my phone.
Well, I can see it, but the audience can't see it.
I asked you.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how to show them. I can tell you what the app is.
Oh, I get it. Let's not put that one in this show. But yeah, I want to see it. But let's take a look at that after.
I can do that. Yeah.
Oh, and then you'll put it in.
Yeah, I can put it on the YouTube video.
Okay. That'll work. There he is, improving.
Do you want to see it now?
Look at this, improving the show. No, what's up on the next article? I think we beat this one up, right?
Maybe.
I think we've established that volcanoes don't put out near as much CO2
and one of those extinctions
beings.
Was a lot of super volcanoes that were erupting too. I think that might have been the Permian extinction. That they think it was because of volcanic eruption, but that kind of stuff doesn't happen anymore since the Earth is cooled enough.
Right.
That kind of stuff doesn't happen anymore.
This one was actually sent to me by one of our no-shitters, Mike Barnett, sent this over. Hey, Mike, how are you? And I thought this was really cool. What's this from, Devlin? It's from mypositiveoutlook.com. So this is sourced from something else. I don't know who that is. But he sent this over to me. It says, blind engineer builds a smart cane that has Google Maps, Bluetooth, and a sensory device.
That's kind of cool.
It's like the Cadillac of canes. Yeah, for the visually impaired.
Well, I mean, it's either that sort of thing or a sword, right? Like,
a smart sword?
No, just like a sword, man. So you could be very chivalristic,
Chivalristic?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is for people that don't see so well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's cool, man. It's like
either way,
there's only two ways to make a cane cool, is what I'm saying.
It has to have a sword come out of it, or
this. It's like a Batman cane. It's like when Batman's old, he's going to have like shit in his cane.
That's right. He's going to have like he's going to hit a button and a grease slick's going to shoot out of it. Caltrops. And
just ride the cane up.
In today's age of advanced technology, a lot of devices, gadgets, and programs are built to make our lives easier and more convenient. While the more recent innovations were designed for entertainment, some companies are taking technology to the next level by incorporating a high level of help and hopefully to make a difference to the lives of people who need it the most. Quote, unfortunately, I cannot name a single city as perfectly disabled friendly city. That is why we are trying to provide this independence for visually impaired people. Sharon Seelan shared Seelan on CNN. And Susie sells seashells down by the seashore.
It looks cool, man. That cane.
Yeah, let's look at that picture there a little bit, Devlin. It's not, it doesn't even look like it's terrible. It's not
bulky or nothing.
Bulky or anything, right? That looks completely functional.
Yeah.
The WeWalk Smart Cane was born from a visually impaired engineer named KSC-116. I'm going to say that's how that's pronounced. It might be Kalen. He is also the CEO and co-founder of a nonprofit called the Young Guru Academy, or YGA, the one responsible for making the WeWalk come to life. As someone who faces the daily challenges of being blind, Seelan knew the limitations of the current technology that people like him have to make do of. Knowing this, he created the WeWalk in hopes of changing the lives of the blind. This innovative cane includes a built-in speakers, voice assistants, Google Maps, a Bluetooth system that makes syncing to other devices possible, and high-end sensors that alerts the user through vibrations when above chest level obstacles are within proximity, something a regular cane cannot provide. Yeah, that would be a bitch, right? I never even thought about that. You're walking along with your cane and there's something that's head height, like a branch.
Yeah.
You wouldn't sit, just bam, you just take it right in the snob.
That's pretty cool.
That's really neat. Yeah. Quote, in these days we are talking about flying cars. Right. But these people have been using just a plain stick.
Interesting.
He explained to CNN, as a blind person, when I am at the metro station, I don't know which is my exit. I don't know which bus is approaching, which stores are around me. That kind of information could be provided with the WeWalk. See, that's where augmented reality is also going to start. Just like this, right? Augmented reality, like the glasses.
Mm-hmm.
But you could build that type of information in, and it could look for things for the person and say, I see a sign to the left that says,
Exit
go
23.
Down, or go down these stairs, or out this door. One of the KSC-116's goals is making the WeWalk is to make the social participation of people like him full and easier. To him, the WeWalk was made to support the visually impaired in their full participation into social life. This device is not completely new, but the fact that he was able to utilize and incorporate existing technology such as voice assistants, Google Maps, and Bluetooth synchronization makes it a completely new idea.
That's pretty cool, man.
That is really cool. So the WeWalk, I like it. That's cool.
I would say
technology isn't all stealing your dick pics and stuff like that, right? Go ahead and it doesn't have to be. It can actually like help and stuff.
Help.
All right, you ready? NASA discovered a black spot on Jupiter 2,200 miles long.
Awesome.
Should we be alarmed? Does it mean anything?
Well, that looks like a shadow.
You've seen 2,000 and 2,000. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay, what am I seeing here?
It looks like a shadow to me. But I don't know. Let's see what it says.
It's a moon shadow.
It's a shadow.
Damn it.
I'm just saying.
I was really hoping for the obelisk and the birth of the second star.
So do you know why they did that in that movie? Yeah. Okay. Because some people don't, and I wanted to make sure you did.
Okay.
But
Am I
looks
good?
like that.
Stanley Kubrick, right?
Yeah.
Okay. John Lithgow was in the second one, which wasn't bad either. The shadow is from Jupiter's volcanically active moon, Lo. Was that Lo?
Where? Io.
Yeah. I missed that. Eclipsing the sun just like our moon does on Earth. NASA said that the spot measured 2,200 miles wide, roughly the distance between New York City and Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm already unimpressed by this article now. All right, moving on.
Yep.
It's a fucking
shadow.
It's a shadow of the moon. All right, got it. Thanks. Thanks, CNN. I'm so well informed now. Otherwise, I wouldn't have given a shit, right? About ad blocker. Continue with ad blocker. Disable ad blocker. What the hell?
Decisions.
Nope. Kill it. Space.com. You can go to hell. I'm not taking my ad blocker down. This is from The Independent. Sadfishing. Social media trend threatens teenagers' mental health, report warns.
What?
Okay, it's got a name now. New social media trend called sadfishing is threatening teenagers' mental health, a report finds. Youngsters facing genuine distress who seek support online are being accused of jumping onto the same publicity bandwagon as celebrities, according to research commissioned by head teachers. Sadfishing has been used to describe when someone posts about an emotional problem in an attempt to attract attention, sympathy, or hook an audience.
I see. Okay. Does that happen regularly with people?
Are you on social media?
Yeah.
Devlin over there. Hey, Devlin, you've got some context here. You're much closer to this demographic than we are.
It's so sad. It's sad in a bad way. Like, I get people on Snapchat that I have unfriended because I look at some of their stories and they go, and they just say, "Don't talk to me," and I'm like,
"Oh, that kind of stuff." The real vague. My life's in turmoil right now, but don't message me. It's like, okay, then why did you go out and blast it out to everybody, right? That's kind of where you're coming from with it.
Yeah, it's just...
The term was coined after a number of celebrities, such as Kendall Jenner, popularity, were accused of teasing details about personal issues on their social media sites to drum up publicity and attract more likes.
More likes. I need, you know what I really need? I need more likes.
I need them likes, man. A new study by Digital Awareness UK said sadfishing is among the new trends that damage teenagers' self-esteem, with teenagers reporting that they have been bullied as a result.
Man, my life is... yes.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
It's good.
No, I just see... It's unfortunate, really, because you see... Like the article says, people are actually trying to reach out for help and they're being bullied for trying to get help. Like, I know people that do it just for attention, and then I actually have friends who do it because they want help. You know, you can tell based off what they type, what they say.
The way they share stuff.
Yeah,
whether they're just trying to be overly dramatic, I think. I mean, that'd be no bit different than someone saying something to you like, "Oh, my life's such a wreck, but I don't want to talk about it," you know, and you'd be like, "All right."
Pretty much, yeah.
So is this, and this is just on like social media?
Social media, yeah. So I think it's how it's become coined, if you will.
So, but when they seek help, when people seek like real help on social media, they're getting bullied for that.
Yeah, it's basically being said that they're just doing it for the purpose of posting their personal problems onto social media strictly now for attention and attention only. That's kind of what they're saying.
What kind of legitimacy would there be, like, if somebody had a problem and they wanted help from the general Facebook populace? Then that would be legitimately not sadfishing?
Yeah, I've seen it done. Like, I've got a friend of mine that's a neuroscientist, really cool lady, and I've seen her post things like, "Hey, face brain," like, and then ask a question. And that's like a way of sort of putting it, and that's just a question. Like, okay, I need to replace this power supply. I'm just making shit up right over. Sometimes she'll do that, and I thought that was really clever, the way she asks questions about problems or issues or things she's trying to figure out. And she's like, "Well, hell, I got this Facebook shit. Let me try to use it for something actually constructive."
But I mean, if somebody was like really legitimately depressed or sad and they're talking about it on Facebook, hoping to get help from
or
getting
some support, and then what happens is that, see, I think there's a differentiation between the way the way I perceive social media and the real world that a lot of people live in, because My social media accounts were friends only. I never did the whole blasting every thought out into an unfiltered audience. Okay, that's what this is. That's what we do here, right?
Probably,
okay?
yeah.
But what I'm saying on social media, and I never did that. Like, so I think there's people, and so I've never seen this because everybody's on my friends list for now until recently. Once we started this, then I changed
I've seen
that.
people
But
doing this kind of thing, but I haven't.
I think it's people that don't necessarily know them personally is what I'm getting at. They see something go out there, you know someone casually, so you take a chance. So then it's just time to go shit on someone to make yourself feel better. You don't know this person well enough for it to be a big deal. So I think that these people will share stuff very publicly and then see these repercussions a lot more than maybe the world I come from on social media where I didn't really do that.
People, I agree with you completely. These people in their heads think that it's a lot easier to just shit on people because they don't know them.
Sure, yeah.
They know they won't talk to them again.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you can go shit on someone, and then if you really flame the hell out of them, then you get to reshare that and say, look what I said to this person, and then you get the emotional validation from your social sphere or your tribe of how awesome it was. I mean, we see it, right? We see it in look at the headlines and the way that things like, you know, hot button issue headlines are written today. So-and-so eviscerates so-and-so. Like this politician eviscerates that politician. Now, when I open that article, I want to see guts and entrails. You know what I mean? Like, because that's what that means, right? So, and then once you go over there and it's somebody that had an argument with each other. Okay,
yeah.
But this is the way that everything's talked about. And it's all done in this. So everything's been
kind of blown up.
Condensed down into these things, right, so that it gets attention super quick.
Talking about clickbait, right?
Absolutely. That's the definition of clickbait headlines, right? So that's what I mean. Like, I think that there's a consequence to having this weird, we see it all the time. Someone will go post something really, really ridiculous, some belief, some understanding of something on social media, and they just blast it out there. And then when people start correcting them, they're like, I didn't ask for your opinion. It's like, you fucking did. You put it out there in public for everybody to hear. Now that people are responding to it. So I think there was like a disconnect between, I seen this meme one time. It was someone said something like this. It's like, well, I don't post things on Facebook to hear every Tom, Dick, and Harry's opinion. And someone went, oh, you're new to the internet. Welcome to Thunderdome, bitch. Like, this is not how this works at all. All right, so this is the thing now. Yeah, I think that this is, and it's funny because there's psychosis and conditions that young people are facing now because, well, everybody's facing. I shouldn't point out that this is just happening to young people because I see a lot of middle-aged people and stuff and elderly people doing the same thing. But technology and the way it connects us now is starting to create new psychological disorders.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Like this is a psychological disorder that couldn't have existed 100 years ago.
Sure.
It's like a brand new thing. All right, Mr. Devlin, what do we got up next, sir? What is this? Oh, more ad stuff.
You see, you deny them, now you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to use the ad block.
Yeah, CNN Business. Floating device created to clean up plastic from the ocean is finally doing its job, organizers say. Remember this? It's like that big giant flotilla thing.
Yeah.
It's like a big net and it catches it off the currents. A huge trash collecting system designed to clean up plastic floating in the Pacific Ocean is finally picking up plastic. Its inventor announced Wednesday. The Netherlands-based nonprofit, the Ocean Cleanup, says its latest prototype was able to capture and hold debris ranging in size from huge abandoned fishing gear, known as ghost nets, to tiny microscopic plastics as small as 1 millimeter. Quote, today I'm very proud to share with you that we are now catching plastics, Ocean Cleanup founder and CEO Boyan Slat said at a news conference in Rotterdam. The Ocean Cleanup system is a U-shaped barrier with a net-like skirt that hangs below the surface of the water. It moves with the current and collects faster moving plastics as they float by. Fish and other animals will be able to swim beneath it. Yeah, it's very clever. It's a neat system.
That's good. The oceans definitely need some cleaning up.
It says, oh, here's a picture of it. Yeah, see how it's like giant U-shaped?
Yeah.
And then this parachute jobby, I think is what kind of slows it down or something so that the currents move faster than it moves. The new prototype added a parachute anchor to slow the system. I should have just read the article.
Hey.
Slow the system and increase the size of a cork line on top of the skirt to keep the plastics from washing over it. So it's more efficient now. I know it broke, and they put it out and it broke, but you got to stick shit in the real world and see what happens to it. And then they made some modifications. And it says it's been deployed in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a concentration of trash located between Hawaii and California that's about double the size of Texas.
Jeez.
Or 3 times the size of France. That's a lot of shit in the water, man. Ocean Cleanup plans to build a fleet of these devices and predicts it will be able to reduce the size of the patch by half every 5 years.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. Who's going to save us from ourselves, Eric?
Scientists and engineers.
Right. Just want to make sure of that, especially our Bonneville engineers sitting back there.
Surrounded by engineers.
Ocean Cleanup plans to build a fleet of these devices. We already said that. Garbage patches are formed by rotating ocean currents called gyres. That makes sense. That pull marine debris into one location, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Several of these patches exist in the world's oceans. There have been setbacks, which Slack called unscheduled learning opportunities, right? Since the system set sail from San Francisco in September of 2018. In December, the group announced that the system wasn't picking up trash. Then a 60-foot section broke free in January, and the whole thing had to be towed back to shore, along with more than 4,400 pounds of trash that had collected. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, how's that a bad thing?
I don't know.
Officials launched the new system 001/B, interesting naming convention, in June, and after some more trial and error, they got things working. Quote, "We now have a self-contained system in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch that is using the natural forces of the ocean to passively catch and concentrate plastics, thereby confirming the most important principle behind the ocean cleanup system," Slatt said. That's a success. They had to send it out there and break it, see what else they needed to do to it.
Good stuff to know. Cleaning up some ocean.
What do we do here?
We let people know things that we think that would be interesting and important, maybe.
Maybe important.
Maybe.
Hopefully humorous.
To someone.
Sometimes mildly entertaining.
Never?
Not really. Drinks and donks.
Oh.
Dinks and donks. Oh, okay. I lost the headline. You zoomed in too much.
Drinks and donks.
Gotta zoom out a little bit so that the headline comes back, Mr. Devlin. There we go. NASA Mars lander detects creepy dinks and donks sounds. Quote.
It's hard to say, isn't it?
Thank you, sir. NASA's Mars InSight lander has detected some peculiar sounds. Peculiar sounds.
It's very peculiar.
Thanks to an onboard seismometer that's capable of picking up the tiniest of vibrations. The InSight team found that delicate parts inside the seismometer itself were expanding and contracting, causing dinks and donks, the team's nickname for strange mechanical sounds, to show up in the samples received and analyzed back on Earth. In some, the eerie noises turned out to be a mixture of wind gusts, sounds from mechanical movements of parts inside the lander itself, and Mars quakes.
So
we still don't
just
really
noise.
It's just noise.
General noise from the machine, from the wind, and maybe an occasional vibration or two from the planet, right?
Yeah, it's probably like the solar cells are open, and then as the wind's buffeting through it, it's like shaking stuff. The lander's seismic experiment for interior structure sensor has detected more than 100 events since the rover placed it on the Martian surface in January. In April, InSight recorded its first ever Mars quake, faint rumbles that appear to have come from the inside of the planet, according to NASA. It's the iron core starting to rotate again.
That would be convenient.
And that pyramid that's on there with the face is going to light up.
In the Cydonia region, yeah.
And it's going to create a portal, and we're all going to beam to that planet while this planet fixes itself because we're stuck in a sim. I'm just making shit up now.
We could maybe.
The InSight team believes that Mars quakes last for tens of minutes, unlike the seconds here on Earth, thanks to the red planet's dried crust in which fractures remain after impact. The sound waves are able to scatter rather than travel in a single line like here on Earth, allowing sound waves to continue uninterrupted. Quote, it's been exciting, especially in the beginning, hearing the first vibrations from the lander, said Imperial College London's Konstantinos Sharamlambois, I guess, who's on Insight's SEIS team. In a statement, quote, you're imagining what's really happening on Mars as Insight sits on the open landscape. So nothing is unexplainable. When I first saw that article, it was like strange noises detected on Mars.
Must be aliens.
Well, that's kind of where it was.
I bet it's aliens.
Bet it's aliens. So who's this from, Devlin?
UPS, it looks like.
The Verge. UPS just won FAA approval to fly as many delivery drones as it wants.
Wow.
UPS announced that it has received government approval to operate a drone airline. A swarm.
Kind of cool.
Wouldn't it be a swarm?
A swarm of drones.
Right.
Drone swarm.
Drone swarm. Don't expect your next package to arrive directly on your doorstep by a drone, though. UPS says it will first use this certification to build a drone delivery network for hospital campuses around the U.S. UPS said in July that it was seeking permission from the Federal Aviation Administration to operate the network, and today it just got that. Specifically, UPS drone delivery subsidiary, UPS Flight Forward, it's a company now, huh? Was granted a Part 135 standard certification, whatever the hell that is. Though drones might not seem like aircraft, they need to be regulated like commercial airplanes do, right? Because you can't fly them in places where it can go into airplane engines and kill people. The federal government evaluates them on similar footing. Drone delivery companies have to be certified by the FAA, just like companies that fly planes. So, long and short, there's going to be a shitload of drones.
The drones are coming.
I just saw that there's a new one that's just come out. High def camera. It follows you, and it was sold out instantly.
What do you mean, like it follows you?
There's already a version of this, and
I mean like the lens turns. Yeah. Okay.
No, I mean like the drone. Like, the drone. You can put the drone in the air, and somehow it follows you. So if you're like doing parkour, look at Devlin over there going, "What the hell?" You can Google this, man.
That's so cool.
Look it up. I'm telling you. And so people use this like mountain bikers, and the drone follows you. But you can literally. So I don't know how it works. I've seen it, and I was the reason I was hesitant to even bring it up, because was I wasn't sure if it was like that weird crowdfunding thing that people are always showing where somehow they project a hologram from a wrist device and they can interact with it, but it doesn't actually, or touch their skin, but it doesn't actually exist yet. It's all crowdsourced. I think this thing actually works. Like, it's an actual quadricopter that somehow the technology in it makes it so that it will follow you. 9 best drones to follow you. Yeah, see, I'm not making this shit up.
Yeah, cool.
So there are drones. So there, I don't know, how do we get on this?
Well, they were talking about the drones that they...
Oh, UPS drones,
UPS, yeah.
So that a new one of those just came out. That's what it was, and it's completely sold out.
There's the guy on the bike.
Yep. See?
Yep.
Make that full screen, Devlin, if you can. That image. No, double click on the image over here. I'll zoom in. Zoom. There you go. Yeah, that's like a for real thing. So like mountain bikers and stuff are using these, and as they're riding down trails, they get like their own action movie of things that they do. Rock climbers and
wow,
that's pretty wild, huh?
Yeah,
that's a thing.
I like that.
All right, so what's up next? Sticking with flight, Ubercopter goes public in New York City. Here's what it's like. Need a quicker way. He scrolled past the headline before I could read it. New York City is served by not one, but 3 major airports, and you'd think that would make it blissfully easy to fly in or out of Manhattan. In reality, trying to get to any of those airports results in a painful decision between the lesser of many evils, including costly hired cars or affordable but inconvenient trains. Increasingly, New York business travelers are turning to Uber to get them to their airport of choice, hoping that the traffic and surge pricing gods smile in their favor. Today, Uber launches a new service that will free you up from the mundane earthly traffic if you're an efficient packer and don't mind the cost. Well, yeah.
You remember talking about this on another episode?
Yeah, but right, because they're actually building like a network of quadricopter style or octocopters, I think.
Yeah.
Drones that are pod focused. But this is not that. This is actually, it's going into operation, but they're actually using helicopters. There's going to be a transitionary period as they move over to that stuff. But we talked
about just starting to use little taxi flights,
right?
Of things in general.
That's kind of how it's. Yep. Commuter flights. Yeah. And there's going to definitely be a. Go ahead, buddy.
I was just gonna say Uber's gonna go from anyone can be an Uber to you have to have like a pilot license?
No, in this case, absolutely, because you need a commercial pilot's license to ferry people for money in an aircraft. You just have to, right? Gotcha. But the stuff that Eric and I are talking about that we've done on an earlier episode of the show was these were semi-autonomous. They were first going to come out. They were going to have pilots to begin with. But the pilots were really sort of emergency interface type. They don't really fly these things. They're like sort of. Huh? Like Uber? Uber Air. These new Uber Air quadricopters that they're going to start building into cities. Yeah, we covered it. It was a while ago that we covered this, that them doing this. But yeah, so this is the first iteration. So it's basically going into deployment. It's going to become a thing. They're just going to start with normal gas turbine type helicopters to begin with. And if you've got the money. For the price of $199.82, the app not only reserved me a helicopter ride from the heliport on the southern tip of Manhattan, but also lined up an Uber X car on one side to get me to the heliport, as well as a second car to get me from the JFK heliport to the hotel. This was all done completely seamlessly.
Wow.
Bro. I could expense me $199 helicopter ride to get to the airport a little faster. I mean, I've paid some chunks of money to get anyway. So anyway, that's kind of cool. Next article, Devlin. We can move on from that one, buddy. Thank you. Uber to launch Uber Works temp worker app Friday in Chicago. So sticking with the Uber. So you get this.
Temporary workers?
Yep. New app emerges as Uber grapples with changes that could upend the gig economy. You listening to this there, Mr. Devlin? Check this shit out. Uber is diving deeper into the gig economy on Friday with the launch of a new app for on-demand workers looking for temporary positions. Uber Works, which matches workers with blue-collar event jobs such as cooks and waiters, will launch in Chicago on Friday. The company said Wednesday. You're going to be able to, so when you take an Uber, you review the driver as a driver. The driver reviews you as a passenger. Okay. And then no money. You don't carry any money. So it's all handled by the app. That's what I like about it. I use it a lot to get to and from airports when I'm traveling for engineering jobs and shit. Okay. I bet this is going to have kind of the same feel to it. So we make a deal. I do the job for you. You rate me and I rate you. Right? The kind of situation. So you'll be able to kind of look through the history of employees before you how many thumbs up or how many 5-star ratings do you have? How many 3? How many 1-star ratings? That'd be kind of neat. It's like Yelp for people.
Yeah.
It might be kind of scary, too. I don't know. Uber has been working on the project in stealth mode in Chicago for the past year and previously experimented with it in Los Angeles. It'd operate as its own venture, similar to Uber food delivery service, Uber Eats, and its self-driving car business, Uber Advanced Technologies Group, and its air handling business, Uber Air, and its... News of the app's launch comes as the gig economy that Uber depends on for workers is about to undergo a major shakeup in California. Last month, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a landmark bill, AB 5, into law, one that could require companies that use independent contractors to reclassify their workers as employees. So there's a deal here with who gets health insurance and shit like that. So
interesting.
That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
I like this, man, like spot hiring type stuff. I mean, so basically, if you have a cell phone, you can work. Like if you can get the app, because it's kind of how Uber works. Like that's a big deal for people to get laid off. A lot of people are hustling, man, and finding this sort of gig economy stuff very beneficial to filling in the gaps maybe while they're trying to find another job. Like if
It's extra money maybe.
Yeah, or a lot of people do that. I ride in Ubers a lot with retired people.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because they're people's personal vehicles. So every time you climb in, it's new culture, new music, new new everything.
Huh. Interesting.
All right, what we got up next there, Mr. Devlin? Oh, last one. This garbage can will take itself out to the curb.
I think I've seen these kind of things before, actually.
If you live in fear that smart technology will soon allow us to make only minimal physical movements, our every whim executed by voice commands, the smart can will probably not offer much comfort. In simple terms, it's a garbage can accessory that drives itself out to the curb on trash collection day. The brainchild of an inventor named Andrew Murray, the smart can, is a two-wheel trash receptacle attachment designed to be compatible with any municipal trash can that will accept your compiled filth from the week. When it's time for the city to collect, the smart can obeys a timer and drags the can along a path to situate itself on the curb. Once it senses the vertical movement of being dumped, it will then drive itself back to its starting position at the points of departure and arrival are docking stations, which give Smart Can its destination.
There's all sorts of automated things that can run over you: cars, trash cans, drones.
What's the one that does your Roomba? This is a Roomba for your trash can.
Roombas?
They have mowers that do this shit now too.
They should.
They sell them at Lowe's and Home Depot. Uses Google Maps to draw the boundaries, and then it'll go out and mow your lawn. Charges itself.
You know what I'd do? I'd dress my trash can up like R2-D2 in that sense.
Like spray paint it like decals and everything, so it looks like an actual droid going out.
I get the dome too.
I wonder how much this thing costs. I mean, how much of a hassle is taking the trash out that you need this thing, right?
I don't know, right?
It says the device is still in the developmental stage, which means there's still time to figure out some of the concept's remaining wrinkles. It may not be available yet. It's not clear what Smart Can will do. If a new obstacle like a mail carrier presents itself, will it stop or proceed to barrel over everything in its path to fulfill its mission to arrive at the curb on time? If a garage door is accidentally shut, will it bang into the barrier?
Over again. Will it? I don't know.
Or will it smash a window and scream for assistance? Help me. If homes put out more than one can per week, how will Smart Can know to fall in line on the trip back? The Smart Can does not currently have a release date or price, though Murray hopes to see it on the market by the end of 2020. So it doesn't exist yet.
Bing! Oh my God, my Smart Can's on fire. I got to go.
That was our last article, man. We got through some good stuff. That was fun, huh?
Well, yeah. Absolutely.
Got anything else you want to chat about tonight, Mr. Smith?
Oh, no.
No.
I'm good for right day.
You don't have any more philosophical, deep philosophical sort of monologues on the history of water or anything you want to bring up tonight? No, not doing that.
I already did that right before the show with Pythagorean solids.
Yeah, that's right. You did. Yeah, he was spinning. He was spinning our gaming dice. We've added gaming dice to the podcast studio desk for good luck. It's kind of a thing because we talk about this stuff all the time. Not that anybody can see it, but it'll be there. How about you, Mr. Devlin, back there? Any plans for world domination? Anything like that going on you want to talk about?
Well, it all starts with the lightsabers.
Yeah.
And then it goes with the water. Yes.
All right, then we'll wrap up there, folks. Thanks for listening, everybody. Check us out at www.noshitcast.com. It's KNOWSHITCAST.com. Give us a share. We'd love that. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you, especially Eric. He loves the abuse. And we'll catch y'all next time. Thanks. What are we doing?
I'm really sad. So share this because I'm depressed.
What's that called again?
Sadfishing.
Sadfishing. Are you sadfishing?
Or yeah. So
you are sadfishing.
Yeah. So we need.
Okay. So you need some comments. You need somebody to leave you some.
We just need you to share the show.
And that would be enough.
That'd be enough. Then we'd be like really happy.
Very good, dude. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch y'all next time. Bye, Sickles.